Hello everyone, and today we have received hybrid in-ear hi-fi headphones from HIDIZS, namely the MS2 Pro model. The whole thing is supplied in this kind of packaging, where the model of headphones itself is depicted on the front side, and it is also indicated that one dynamic driver and one armature emitter are used here. Well, the inscription high-res audio makes it clear that we have a serious audiophile product in front of us. On the back side, the characteristics of the headphones are indicated, as well as what is included in the package. Well, let's move on to unpacking and see what's inside. In the kit you will find user manual, warranty card, faux leather carrying case, silver-plated oxygen-free copper twisted pair headphone cable 3.5mm with 2-pin 0.78mm connector, 1.2 meters long, 2 pairs of additional pneumatic sound adjustment filters, 2 with white ring and 2 with black ring, 3 pairs of ergonomic black silicone ear tips with a balancing hole of different standard sizes, 3 pairs of high-frequency ergonomic white silicone ear tips with a wide opening in different standard sizes, and of course the wired hybrid in-ear monitors, Hi-Fi HIDIZS MS2 Pro. What I have here is the HIDIZS latest entry-level IEM, the MS2 Pro. This particular model is part of their ever-expanding Mermaid series, and a follow-up model of the MS2 that was released a few years ago. Also, it has a hybrid driver configuration inside, just like most of their previous product lineups of this specific model series. Its driver configuration was arrayed with a 10mm single dynamic driver in a dual-chambered configuration made of high-grade neodymium magnet with a durable composite polymer diaphragm made of polyurethane and polyether ether, ketone for better vibration and deeper bass response, and a custom-made Silvercore tweeter balanced armature driver for better clarity and detail on vocals and instruments. The MS2 Pro's shells are made from zinc alloy with a slick mirror finish that catches the light nicely, though thankfully not every greasy fingerprint. That's thanks to the faceplates, which sport a faux leather overlay with a textured pattern. It looks great and adds a touch of charm to the device. And this additional and functional element on the faceplate, covered with bronze grille, is an accurate and precisely crafted opening for dynamic driver movement. Compensation really makes IEMs look very unique. Like the current HIDIZS models, it utilizes a detachable tuning nozzle for accessibility on more tuning profiles. That is one of its main, strongest, and consistent features. Sound output nozzles don't protrude too far from the shells, but in combination with universally ergonomic form and flexible ear guides on the cable. MS2 Pro fit quiet. Nice and shouldn't give any trouble to the vast majority in this respect. I wouldn't recommend it for workouts since there are openings on the back as well, but activities with no incoming sweat or moisture should be totally fine fit-wise. The cable is traditionally braided, equipped with aluminum audio jack and splitter housings, bending protection, flexible ear guides, and clear channel indicators. It uses a proven 0.78mm 2-pin detachable connector with transparent resin housings, and features a 2-core silver-plated oxygen-free copper design in a twisted structure, terminating in a gold-plated 3.5mm plug by default, with an optional 4.4mm balanced termination available on order. I've never had an issue with audio cables from HIDIZS, but if someone wants to switch to something as thick as an elephant's foot, you're welcome. This connector type can handle it. This set is also easy to drive due to its low impedance and high sensitivity rating that you won't need any headphone amplifier dongles. The standard gain power output from a 3.5mm smartphone would be sufficient enough. As for tuning profile, it has 3 tonal profiles, and all of them apparently veer towards more on a U-shaped sound signature with slight variance. Some of my initial tonal impressions. Tuning attachment with red ring. It has a U-shaped sound profile with a warmish balanced tonality, and it is the warmest among the 3 tuning profile settings that it will be engaging and musical. The bass response is more punchy and impactful, although I don't still consider it as a basshead's bass response. It has a broad and weighty bass guitar, and a full and sonorous sound on its kick bass drum. While the mid-range seems to be a recessed presentation, but due to some emphasis on between the mid-bass and low mid-range, it has a sufficient warmth to deliver a rich and plush sound characteristics for male vocals and instruments. Ryan Key's tenor vocals, it seems that his voice would be likely classified as between spinto and dramatic type, which is known for its warmth, emotive, and ringing from his distinctive vibrato. The guitars have a warmth and full sound. Snare drums have hard and deep sound on every stroke on its drumhead, along with a warm and resonant sound from its toms. Another thing that I noticed is that its rich and complex string section also includes a violin and cello, as the former delivers a calm and solemn sound, while the latter instrument has a rounded and mellow sound, as it gives that mournful and depressed atmospheric vibe. The treble section of this one is rather balanced, as it has an ample brightness while maintaining some smoothness, but it has a modest treble air extension. Cymbal strikes sound more lustrous, while hi-hats have that warm and resonant chicky sound. Black ring tuning attachments. It has a mild U-shaped sound profile on the black ear tips, and somewhat more an L-shaped sound on the white ear tips. Probably the most balanced tuning among the three tuning profiles, as I noticed that it has a less recessed mid-range that gives that balanced tuning. The bass response still has that punchiness and impact, but with a bit less texture on its mid-bass section. It sounds quite rumbly on its sub-bass part, and also a bit tighter and clean sounding, as the bass guitars sound more resonant and wafting while bass kick drums produces a more rumbly and eerily sound. The mid-range of this one, as I mentioned, is less recessed, but it compared to the red ring nozzle, it has less warm, and also to some extent energy, but it doesn't mean that it sounds dull or veiled, as it has still a sufficient energy for female vocals and instruments like strings and woodwinds. Ryan Key's vocals still have that rich and emotive sound from its vibrato, and I noticed that it has more ringing presence but with a bit less warmth and also some brightness, especially on hitting high notes. Guitars have a balanced and crisp sound on them, while violin sounds more clear and sensuous, while the cellos have that cantabile and incisive sound. Snare drums have a more sharp and precise sound on every stroke, while tom-toms have a resonant and sonorous sound. The treble response of this one is more on balanced side of the treble tuning, as it still has an enough gleam for clarity of its vocal presence and definition on the attack on instruments. Also, it has a tad better airy extension too compared to the red ring nozzle. The cymbals have more undulating and soaring sound, while the hi-hat sounds a bit dull with a shortened buzzing tone from its chicky sound. Nozzles with white ring for tuning. It has a U-shaped, V-shaped on a black ear tips with a bit narrower bore, sound profile with a more upper mids and treble-focused tuning compared to the other tuning nozzles. It has that punchy and tactile bass response, albeit with a bit more brighter and sustaining tone on bass guitar lines, and a more menacing and lingering sound from bass kick drums. The mid-range presentation of this one is noticeable recessed compared to the black ring nozzle, but with some warmth due to some slight mid-bass bleed along with an energetic tuning. It sounds more richer, vibrant and airy that will be suitable towards female vocals and also on strings, woodwinds and percussives that makes it more ideal to classical genres. Ryan Key's vocal still delivers that warm, emotive and powerful vibrato, but it has a tad brighter tone, while the guitars have a more brighter and sustaining sound on guitars. Other stringed instruments like violins and cellos, they sound more brilliant and vibrant respectively, and then on the percussives, snares have even sharper and bright sound, while the tom-toms have a warmth but with more prolonging resonance. The treble on this one is definitely bright and energetic with good airy extension. Due to its boosted upper mid-range and presence treble sections, it gives more intense sound, as it is a bit sharp and edgy to some treble-sensitive folk. But in my still healthy hearing, I find it tolerable, as I don't hear it overly sharp, sibilant or strident, and also it gives more clarity and definition on vocal articulation and attack on instruments. Cymbal strikes have more brilliant and glistening, while the hi-hats has a more shimmering and sizzling tone on its chicky sound. The overall dimension of its perceived head stage is quite remarkable, as it presents a moderately roomy sound field, as it has a reasonably wide lateral span. Good height ceiling reach. It somehow improves a bit on a white ring nozzle setting and white ear tip combo, and an immersive sound speaker stage depth. The imaging seems to present more of a concave-like stereo presentation, with just a fairly layered soundscape, but at least it has a good separation of musical elements from vocals to instruments, as I was able to pinpoint their placement on its spatial sonics. The cohesive performance of its hybrid driver configuration is quite impressive, that I don't encounter any distortion nor phasing issues at all, as the dynamic driver delivers a fast transient speed on its bass response, while the balanced armature driver delivers a detailed and crystal clear sound output. The resolution capabilities of this one is well defined and delineated, as it has a firm macro dynamics, as it highlighted the varying degree of loudness from quiet to loud level on chorale lines and instrumental passages, while its microdynamics has a sharp definition on extracting details, nuances, and grains from a playback track like vocal and instrumental reverb tails and notational textures. Fit-wise, the shells are spot on for my ears. No pressure points, no discomfort, even after long listening sessions. They've got a bit of weight to them, which makes them feel solid and well put together. To sum it up, HIDIZS MS2 Pro is an obvious step forward compared to its predecessor. Its design, materials, initial sound tuning, and bundled accessories, everything has been refined. If to consider MS2 Pro separately, it is a decent performer, especially for everyday use in a combination with regular audio sources like a smartphone or portable USB amp. High volume level, slight and accurate, V-shape AFR, universal for different music genres, sounding quite neutral. Good option to go easy on ears all day long. As for the serious music fans or audiophiles, there are some limitations to consider if to be paired with more powerful equipment. That leather thing that HIDIZS implemented on its faceplate is quite an impressive design cue, as it gives a distinct identity on the MS2 Pro that makes it more appealing to give that sophisticated look, and also the detachable tuning settings has its own different tonal profile. And that's all from me. You can buy it using the link in the description. Thank you all for watching. Good luck to everyone. Bye everyone. Ciao.